Hi guys, it's Mrs. Everly. This is your daily writing pre-recorded lesson. For writing, we have started narrative writing. So yesterday I asked you to create a list of memories that eventually you could turn into narrative pieces of writing. So I asked you to come up with at least 5. And if you guys remember my list, I had 5. I had a couple stories like teaching Landon how to play t-ball for the first time, going tubing for the first time in 5 years. But one that I think I want to turn into is, I know this one happened a couple of years ago, but I was so mortified and I was so embarrassed. And then once I thought about it, we weren't being loud. So something that really stands out to me is being shushed by a former teacher and that used to work at Royal Oak. So I think I'm going to take that memory and I'm going to turn it into a story. So the second part of today's lesson, the second part of this lesson is to plan and write. So again, you guys, yesterday we did the thinking part. That's the brainstorming. Now we want to start putting it to paper. So think of your story. That might be closing your eyes, stopping and kind of revisualizing everything that happened. So what was said? What did you hear? What was going on in the background? What did you see? So really thinking about your 5 senses and using those to kind of help you plan and draft this story. So again, I'm kind of creating that story, and the first thing that you might want to do is just plan across the pages. So again, in your composition notebook, you might just, and in your folder, there's a couple packets that were given to you that have, it's like a picture, like a box, and it has lines. You could use those to also help you map out your story, or you could use your composition notebook. So this is just a way of thinking across pages. And you guys might remember doing this back in 1st grade and 2nd grade and kindergarten, where you're like, this happened first. So you might use this page to kind of just, touch it and think about and talk out loud some of the things that happened. And then this page. So if I was to take my story and if I modeled it, I would say, yep, this was our read aloud time. We were in our character unit and we were about to start Tiger Rising. We all sat down, we had all of our materials, and all of a sudden, Mrs. Buskey comes in and she says, shh, you guys are being really loud. So I could say that happened on this page. And then I might flip to the next page and I might say, oh, and then I looked at my class and I didn't know what she was talking about. We hadn't even talked. We hadn't even started our story. So I didn't even know what she was talking about. So again, you guys, what I ended up doing is that I thought about my memory and I replayed it out and then I planned it across my pages. Now, that's just one way to start drafting a story. It could also be sketching. And you guys, these are not detailed sketches, but they're just kind of thinking about what happened. So if you guys see right here, sorry, it's not the best quality, but that was Mrs. Buskey in the background, and then that was my circle, so I'm the one that's teaching, and the students are in the circle. And that just goes to tell me we were about to start our story. I was about to start reading. Everyone was just sitting nicely. We were all quiet. The kids were really excited to talk about to start Tiger Rising because I had been talking up for a couple of days. And in comes Mrs. Buskey. So that would be something I could write on the first page of my story. I remember it really clear. And then the second page, I just kind of sketched out a drawing and kind of some words or things that were said. So I said, this is Mrs. Buskey saying, please be quiet. I'm trying to teach. So that would be what I could be, sketching and thinking about, because that really stands out, her coming in, that was the start of our day for Read Aloud, her coming in, and then eventually kind of my reaction. First off, if I'm getting into trouble, remember, this is my first year teaching 4th grade. I had never read Tiger Rising to a class. I was still working on noise level. We were really close, right next to each other. And I just instantly said, I'm sorry. But then I looked at my class and I was like, were we talking loud? So that would be here. And then I was just like, but then on my last page, after thinking about it and after Mrs. Buskey had left, we weren't even talking. And then I just was asking the kids, were we being loud? What was going on? Who was talking? What could she possibly have mixed up, that noise for? Was it coming from another class? Was it coming from Mrs. Wiley teaching math? Who knows? We couldn't figure that out. But again, you guys, I just gave you 2 strategies to use. So you're gonna take one of your brainstormed ideas, one of your memories, and you're gonna start drafting it. So whether that means you guys are planning that across pages, so you're thinking across the pages. You know, this happened first, and that's what you're gonna write on this page. And then this stands out, and then you're gonna kind of think about on this page what happened. It could also turn into sketching, where this happened first, and then you draw out, a quick sketch and maybe a couple words that stand out to you. And then what happened second and what happened third. So again, you guys, this is just really thinking about how you could draft your story without fully going into paragraphs. Thank you.